the Africa Rice Center, actually, as a small reminder, it's an association of 28 member countries, which were actually, but it had very humble beginnings. It started in 1971, whereby African countries started consuming more than they were producing in rice. So 11 countries came together and formed this association called the West Africa Rice Development Association. And then this association was responding so well to the needs of Africans. Other countries joined up to the end that now we are having 28 countries all across the continent. From North Africa, Egypt, going all the way to Southern Africa, you have Madagascar, and then you have Mozambique, Eastern Africa. Many countries in Central Africa, they are all included now. So that's the time, 2009, we changed the name to call it the Africa Rice Center. So the Africa Rice Center is actually one of the CGIAR centers, which is also an international research center, which is developing new technologies when it comes to rice-based systems to help improve the productivity of the rice-based systems in Africa, but at the same time also trying to respond to needs of the communities by improving the livelihoods so that rice production in the continent can really be very much advanced. And in that area, we have had a lot of very good collaboration with the bank, because the bank with Africa Rice, the history really goes very far. We had what we call the flagship of the Africa Rice Center, what we are called the NERICAS. Almost everybody in Africa knows about the NERICAS, New Rice for Africa. That program was supported by the bank when the technology, good science was used to develop a new rice technology, and then the bank said, okay, this technology should not stay here. It has to be supported so that it can get to the farmers and the consumers. The bank gave support to the NERICAS. We had what we call the NERICA Extension Program, and it just exploded in the continent. We had, at the moment, we are having more than 2 million hectares of rice that are cultivated to the NERICA varieties, and the impact on the continent is really huge. So that experience really led to other support from the African Development Bank to the initiative that are being implemented by Africa Rice all across the continent. We have recently the program called the TAT program, that is the Technology for African Agricultural Transformation. We have a very strong component which is called the TAT Rice Compact. Africa Rice is leading that compact all across 15 African countries. The project is really having huge impact there. As I mentioned just 2 days ago, when at Africa Rice, we are really honored to host the Secretary of State for the United States, Mr. Blinken, and at the same time also the bank president, Dr. Adesina, at our Abidjan headquarters. When we welcome them, so I explained about the importance of that and already the impact that has been registered. Yields have been improved by more than 60%, actually 69% due to the intervention of that in farmers' areas. And at the same time also, we find the livelihoods of farmers improved by more than 30%. Actual rice production in those 15 countries also expanded by more than 1 million tons. Based on that good experience now, the bank is giving further support to a bigger program, which is called the Reward Program. The Reward is far much more ambitious because only in West Africa, all the 15 West African countries are going to be supported with more than $650 million to make sure that within 5 years, these countries get self-sufficient in rice. And then it's going to be up to about 53 million tons extra of rice that's going to be produced for these countries. So definitely the Africa Rice and the CGIAR, we are very, very much appreciative of the support we are getting from the bank. And I'm really glad the discussion we had today built on this kind of relationship. How can we be able to replicate the good success of that and also replicate Reward across the other commodities and also across other regions in Africa?